Good evening, everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and this show is brought to you by our friends at Massage Magazine Insurance Plus. Massage Magazine has been exploring touch therapies for over 25 years and has used that industry knowledge to develop the best value liability insurance in the business. Welcome, everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd. And tonight we have Christian Tomorrow. Did I get that right?
You did.
Okay. So what is tonight's topic then?
So tonight I actually want to cover a little bit about online marketing and really how to get online lookers into longtime clients on your table.
Okay, awesome. And then to start it off with, how did you get involved in the massage field then?
Oh my goodness. I was a corporate rat and, working in corporate America, and I just knew it wasn't for me. And I needed a change. So I worked my way through going to massage school while working a 9-to-5 and an array of other jobs at the same time. And I just absolutely fell in love with massage therapy. And at the time, I actually was receiving massage on a monthly basis because of a car accident I was in. And I got such relief. And I just remember lying on the table thinking, this person gets paid to be in this atmosphere all day long, and how do I get to do that? And that's really what drove me to it.
So you haven't looked back since, have you?
No, I haven't, and I feel so honored and blessed to be in part of this industry.
Yep. And why did you decide to get into coaching and things then?
Well, that really stemmed from two reasons. I wanted to make sure that for myself and my family, I could build a business that was mobile. I wanted to be able to still have my massage practice, but I also wanted to bring in other income other than using my hands. And it started off with me creating information products for my massage practice, and I think the first information product I did was on like stress reduction, and so what I did is I held a class and then I recorded the class and then I sold that on my website. So I was bringing in more income without using my hands, and I was just hooked on that. I really liked that idea, and in the last 5 years I've actually been mentoring other students. And I really enjoy doing it. They get great results, and when they listen to what I have to say, they really they find that it works for them. So it was just, I think, a calling.
Yeah, in this day and age too. I mean, massage therapists, they can't just massage. They need to do other things in order to survive too. Because I mean, physically, I mean, it's next to impossible.
I totally agree with that, and I think a lot of therapists don't really think about that too much. They only think about, okay, how do I get clients on the table? How do I get new clients? How do I get that client I just worked with to come back time and time and time again? And it's not always about just the clients. Sometimes we bring in money other ways as well, and not just retail or hiring staff. We have knowledge within ourselves that I think people, they don't realize that you have more knowledge than the average Joe. Even straight out of school, you know more, and they're looking for your knowledge. If you can package it and sell it, that's key.
Yep. And for myself, too, I mean, I only massaged for full-time for 3 years, and then I have a gunstock deformity, and it started aggravating me a lot, so I had to think of different ways. So that's why I got into teaching and stuff. So you got to constantly think of one step ahead, basically.
Yeah. So for you, it was, your life was changing.
Yep.
And you really need to find that second income.
Yep. Yeah, because I love what I did, but I just needed that extra. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then, what are some struggles you see with massage therapists when trying to grow an online practice? I mean, do you see a lot of struggles then? And
yeah, I do. I see a lot of massage therapists, especially when I'm working with my clients. I love surveying people. I love to see, okay, where are you at now? Where do you want to be? That's just how my brain works, and that's my learning curve. So I survey a lot of my clients. I am constantly asking questions. And the one thing that comes up time and time again is they really are trying to be perfect. And I'm going to wait until I get my website, my logo. I'm going to wait until, I really have enough, maybe enough Facebook followers to really promote that even more to my clients. They're always waiting for something. And the biggest thing I've learned in business, whether it's my massage practice or my coaching business, is waiting will just, halt the success. So don't wait for things to be perfect. It's better to start where you're at. And I always say it's about action, not perfection. And the reason why I say that, and I'll share this with you and your peeps, is my dyslexia and my learning disability gets in the way of me using words the right way. So oftentimes on my Facebook page or even in a blog post, you'll see me use the wrong words. And not because I haven't reviewed it a million times, it's just because of me. And it stopped me for a very long time to go forward in anything I wanted in life. And once I stopped that, I began to really see results. And I see a lot of other therapists in that, like, analysis paralysis. They're just stuck, and they're just not moving forward. Just move forward with what you have. And, when I started this business, I had 0 clients, and now I have, I think, up to 15 clients and over 500 people on my email list in a short 5 to 6 months. And that was just because I started where I was, and I just kept moving forward. So if you have a website, or if you don't have a website and you're kind of looking to grow online or get your business online, just start where you're at. And one of the biggest things that I always tell people is make sure that you have a website. That's very important too. And when I surveyed my clients, 50% of the people that I surveyed did not have websites. So 50%, that's a lot,
Yeah, that's huge, because everybody's looking for everything online nowadays. I mean, nobody uses Yellow Pages anymore, the actual phone book anymore, so it's
Yeah, for sure. And I knew when I started my massage practice that no one else in my area, everyone in my area, I was in a 2-mile radius, and there were 8 other massage practices in my area, and it was very saturated. So how was I going to set myself apart? And no one was dominating online, so that's what I chose. I chose to learn how to blog. I chose to learn how to email my clients correctly. I chose how to do social media. So I really put a lot of time and effort and money into learning those ways. And that's what I teach my clients.
Yep, and do you get into SEO for the clients too and stuff to help them get that traction going? And
I do. I emphasize a lot about that, and keyword research with Google. And I always try to teach low-cost to no-cost ways. There is some cost involved in certain things like that, but typically you can do a lot of stuff for free. It just requires time, and it's very important to know who you're speaking to. And once you know who you're speaking to, you then know what words to use that are going to grab their attention, but also, like, what are they typing on the computer at home? Like, what are they physically typing to find you? And there are ways to find that out. So I'm really big about SEO, for sure.
yeah, and analytics too and stuff like that. And
yeah, analytics, knowing where's your traffic coming from, how long are they staying on your site for, do they come to your site and then leave right away? That has a lot to say about how you're representing yourself online.
Yep. And what do you think about the free websites out there?
I don't like them. I don't like them because I don't think, 2 things. You don't own it, and it's not as good SEO as you would think it is, and it really doesn't present yourself as professional. You don't see gurus in your industry using free websites.
Yeah, but I mean, is it something? I mean, for them to use just in the beginning, kind of thing, to get some traction? And
in the beginning, if you have absolutely nothing else to go, that's fine. But if within a year, if you're still using a free site, then you need to. I don't even suggest more than 6 months. And when you get a website up and running, you can do it for less than $150, which that is not a lot of money. So I really don't promote the free sites as much. You know, in the beginning, yes, like I said, 6 months or so, but after that, I really suggest that you get your own.
Okay. And then, so do you do a lot of blogging then?
I do. I try. I try to do a lot. A lot to me would be 3 times a week, and I just can't seem to do that. So I do probably about 2 to 3 times a month, and I do that so that I can be current. I do that so I can get my ideas out there, and I really find that blogging is what connects me to my ideal client. And blogging is really, that's what Google wants to see, right? Google loves words, and they want to find you. And when we blog, we get to put our ideas out there, our opinions out there, but we also get to put out all those awesome SEO search words that are going out there too, so that Google can really find you and get you in front of your clients so they can buy what you have to offer.
Yep. So, yeah, because, do you have to gear it towards, do you give them tips and tricks on how to gear towards their potential massage clients and current massage clients then too? And
I do like to do that, and I like to do a lot of like showing them how to physically do things. So I have a program software where I record my screen. So a lot of times I'll do YouTube videos like that, just showing them how to get testimonials out there in a better way, or you know, just letting people know that there are ways to get your business up and running with little to no cost. So I definitely do blog about that.
yeah, because for myself too, I'm not the greatest writer, so that's why I started vlogging instead of blogging and stuff. So it's so much easier to.
That's what I find too, Ryan, is like I really do like doing video more because I don't have to spell.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like use the right. I'm horrible with grammar, so you know, I'm the person that writes the text message. I'm like, yesterday, I'll just say tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan talks about that a lot in his comedy. So, yeah, that's me.
Yeah. And then question in the chat, can she talk about bookkeeping programs? What do you recommend?
Oh, my goodness. I don't have a good bookkeeping program.
Yeah.
I use my office manager. She's my program. I pay her to just take care of everything. So I will say, though, is we do use Google Docs for many things because we share a lot of documents between us. And one of the, you know, I'm really not the financial part of that. Steph Lash of Thriving Massage Biz is really good at stuff like that. She is the person to ask for that. But I definitely would. I've heard QuickBooks Online is really good. I think that's what my office manager uses. She just takes care of all that. And that's one of the things that has really helped me in my business, is to know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And I'm not good at keeping track of all that stuff.
Okay.
So I just pay someone else to do that.
And yeah, like myself too, I pay an accountant all the time to do all that, just because I'm not good with numbers. That's just not me. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And
limitations, you know.
Yep, exactly. So, and the thing is, what they say too is, if you can make more money in another area, might as well hire out for the other things, you know. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
The bottom dollar, right?
Yep. And what kind of blog topics and things would you recommend massage therapists to post then?
This is the thing. You really need to know who your ideal client is. Who do you speak to? And I really drive this in. You absolutely cannot speak to everyone. When you market to everyone, you market to no one. So you absolutely need to know who is your ideal client. Where do they work? How old are they? How many kids do they have? What pain do they have that you can solve? I'll give you an example. For me, it's low back and neck pain. So that's really, in my massage practice, a lot of what I blogged about was low back and neck pain, because that's what my specialty was. And I ended up having people just come to my website and booking appointments with me because they had low back and neck pain. So they were searching for what I had to offer. So anything like that, I think knowing your ideal client, knowing what kind of pain points they have, and what words you can use to really describe, what they're going through. An example of that would be, say someone is a grandmother that has really bad low back pain. Well, maybe she can't pick up her grandchildren anymore. Those type of words describing their pain point in your blog posts and how you have that, you have the option to make them feel better, I think is great. So, and then other things that I would suggest blogging about is tips and tricks in using your video. Grab your smartphone, grab your video camera, and just do a 60-second tip on how they can make themselves feel better, or how can they get out of pain, or how can they reduce stress. Relaxation, stress reduction, pain relief. If you're in a really niched area, like something like pediatric massage or maybe hospice massage, how do you deal with family members? How can you speak to the family members in that video or that blog post so that they can understand, I really resonate with this therapist. I really feel like that she would be a good fit for me and my family. And that's how you get the calls into your office and get the money in your hand.
Yeah. And how often would you recommend them to blog, though?
If you can really commit to twice a month, every 2 weeks, I think that's a good starting point. I think that's a really good starting point. I think once a month is not enough. I really would like to see once a week, but if you can do every 2 weeks, I think that's really good.
Yep, and definitely anything to get started too. That's a hard time too. So
that's the deal. Is like when you're first starting out, you don't know what the heck to do, and you don't want to go full blast because I feel like it's going to be too much, and then you're going to want to quit. So it's better to start off small and then just keep doing a little bit better. Start where you're at. Maybe for you that's once a month, but start where you're at and just keep striving to do better.
Yep. And what do you think your #1 tip for massage therapists that are not ready to blog, though?
Okay, so here is where a lot of business owners in general make a huge mistake. They do not go through the online ether and really update all those free websites out there like Google Places and Angie's List and Yahoo and Bing. They are not listing their business completely. They should be uploading a picture. They should be putting their hours of operation, describing what the business is about, putting their contact information. Another great place is Yelp. And locally here in Boston, which is really national, is Jill's List, which is a healthcare practitioner's directory. I think wellness.com, something like that too. I know the AMTA definitely has, if you're a member, you can do a free listing with them. So just make sure that you're making yourself complete out there so that if someone does come upon you in your business, it doesn't look half-assed. You know what I mean? It looks fully like a complete listing. And you really want that. You really want to represent your business. And the best way to find out all these places is to actually Google the words, add your business listing, and then maybe the name of the search engine or something like, how do I add my business to business listings? And then all these things will start to come up. And you can either add your business, or sometimes in some cases you're already there because like the yellow pages, if you are listed and you have a public number, sometimes they just start listing for you, but they don't complete it. So that's a great way.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're talking earlier about video too and stuff. I mean, I think that's most underused media for therapists is video, because I don't hardly see any out there and stuff.
I agree with that, and especially where the type of work we do, I get this comment a lot. Well, I don't want to give away everything, then they won't need me. They certainly need you. The type of work we do is so hands-on, it's so personal. that you could give away the farm and they're still going to come and see you, like with tips and tricks and how to get out of pain and things like that. And video, a lot of times I'll use video just to say, like if I go to a local event and I collect email addresses and maybe I'm giving away a free half-an-hour treatment and I'm collecting email addresses at this local event, and then at the end of the night I'll email everyone and I'll send it in a video. It was so great seeing you today at the event. I really enjoyed meeting you. I can't wait to see you in the office. Here's how you can go further with working with me. You putting your face in the computer is a big deal when you've seen them at an event during that day. And video just really allows that human touch to get just a little bit deeper, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and where do you recommend them to upload their videos?
I use YouTube. I don't do anywhere else. I know that you can do it like when you go to Twitter or Facebook, you can upload it there as well. So I'm all about trying to do it once and kind of spread it out. So try YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I've not used Vimeo a lot. Have you at all?
Back in the day and stuff, but now it's you have to pay for accounts if you want to advertise anything. So that's the problem with Vimeo also.
Yeah, so I'm all about the free.
Yeah.
Doing it as free and cheap as possible to get the biggest bang for your buck. I'd rather spend my money on something that is really going to get me huge return on my investment.
Yep. Yeah, and with videos too, you were talking earlier about 30 seconds or 60 seconds. I mean, that's ideal. Anything longer than that, usually people's attention spans are gone. So. Yeah,
and the thing about growing online is that you have to understand everything needs to be scannable, and also you need to keep their attention. And it's just quick. You got to go quick. You got to get to the point, and then you got to get out of there. When I first started using video, my videos were like 8-9 minutes long. I was talking like this. I was, and it was boring. But I learned as I went along, and that's definitely what I teach. Just kind of get out there and start doing something. And I think, too, that when you're using video, I have actually a blog post on my website, relaxationbusinesscoaching.com, and I give you a list of things that you should be doing so you look a little bit brighter and you look a little bit better during the video, like getting a light, which is really important. I'm using a light here tonight. I'm going to shut it off just so you can see. Can I do that real quick? Okay. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Can you see? You can like barely see me, or is it like worse?
Yep.
No? Yeah. So, this light I think was like $70 or something like that, and I use it forever. So there's some other tips on there that you can look, search that.
Yep, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, and the nice thing about YouTube too is if you just edit with, you can shoot with your webcam straight through YouTube now, and then you can edit the videos, and it makes everything so much easier. And
yeah, they have editing, and then they have the color. Like you can change the color. Yep. I love all that stuff.
Yep.
I could spend like an hour just like, let's try this, let's try that.
Yep. And as you notice too, probably, if you post videos in other, like Vimeo and other places, and then also YouTube, more likely when you're searching on Google for your stuff, it's only going to show up YouTube videos anyways. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that YouTube, the third largest search engine. So one of the best ways I teach is that if you're gonna get out there and try to really get in front of your clientele, if you're gonna do a video, you might as well transcribe it and throw those words on there and put it in a blog post as well. And it's the same exact thing. And then I use those things to really get out there on social media and in my email campaign, so I'm not consistently coming up with new content.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because especially on social media, you can recycle your content every now and then too. And
yeah, I love that.
Yep. But the problem is with, do you like Facebook and stuff to get the word out about things then, or?
I do. For me, that was really key because growing online was great, and using my blog and my website. Everything leads back to my website, but Facebook is really where I started to build relationships with clients. They really got to interact with me. They got to see the personal side of me and also the business end of me. And, you know, when I would post something on Facebook, then that day my client would come in and make a comment about it, or make a comment about my blog post that went out, or something like that. And that's fun, you know, because especially when you're working by yourself, and it can get lonely, you know. You have your client, but you're usually quiet during the treatment, and it's nice to know that they're really paying attention to what you have to offer, and they're really kind of eating it up. So I loved Facebook, and I still love Facebook for marketing.
And then, what are the top 3 Facebook posts that get the most engagement, would you say?
So, encouragement, making sure that you're making it more about them and not you, and really encouraging your clients. This is really key as well. A lot of people, sometimes you are the only encouragement they're getting for the whole entire day. And that's, you know, that's an epidemic that's going through for many people. And I think that really making sure that you're encouraging your clients that, you know, no matter where they're at, that it doesn't matter, they're still going to be okay. And I know one thing you want to be careful about, though, is a lot of times people will post like quotes of other people, which is completely fine, but just make sure you're not posting too many of those. You really want to get your opinion as you as the business owner of encouragement out there. And always remind your clients that they can really start from where they're at. And one of the best examples of this is actually recently H&R Block, the tax preparation people, they had a commercial where the tax professional was encouraging you to come in and get your taxes, even if it's been 8 years, or they were even doing it on tax day. It's not too late, still come in. You know, they didn't talk about cost, they didn't talk about price. They were just saying, come in here, we're going to help you. And I really thought that was very interesting. The other one is ask questions that emphasize your client, not your business. And you know your surroundings. Understand that Facebook is fun, Facebook is exciting, it's quick, and it's shareable. So ask questions that your followers would be interested in answering. It's not always about just putting out information about your product or your service. A lot of times it's asking, what did you have for dinner tonight? A lot of times it's asking, you know, when was the last time you rock climbed? You know, I know that sounds very kind of not in line with massage, but it's getting the engagement, and you have to understand what your surroundings are. Facebook is not just for business, it's for people that are out there trying to connect with other people. And then another one that I really like is sharing pictures of your signature system. So your signature system is really what you do to get your clients results and what you do to run your business. So it may vary from client to client or day to day, but as a whole, you probably have a certain way that you do what you do to get your clients the results that they get and to really make sure that your business runs like a well-oiled machine. So you could maybe post a picture of some hot stones warming in the roaster for a hot stone massage, or maybe a new shipment of sheets that came in. People are really interested in what's kind of going on behind the scenes, and it really gets that engagement that you need as well.
And then would you say pictures, links, or text do better on Facebook?
Probably pictures, but I think you should always mix it up. I think mixing it up is key, but from what I've noticed, pictures do get a lot more results. Do you find that, or what do you find?
Yeah, what I've noticed is with pictures they get a lot more shares, but text get a lot more traction. I mean, a lot more views, it seems, and stuff. And
yeah, isn't that funny how that works?
Yep.
So it really kind of depends on what your ultimate goal is.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Are you looking to get more engagement, or are you looking to get more potential people to like your page?
Yep. especially if you just want your message out really quick, kind of thing. Just text is the best way to do it and stuff. And
Right.
yeah. And then are you a big fan of Twitter then too, or?
Okay, so here's the thing about Twitter. I don't do Twitter for my practice. I tried that at first, and it just didn't work for me. And I know a lot of therapists that do use it for their massage practice, and it works great for them. For some reason, I couldn't figure it out. So I knew my limitation, and I use Twitter for my coaching business. Now, when I look at my Google Analytics, 35 to 40% of my traffic comes from Twitter. And that's because of how I've set that up. I am constantly posting links back to my site and posting my blog posts and posting questions. So I like Twitter for business to business. I find that I wasn't getting the business to consumer. But that's just me because, like I said, I know some other therapists that have great results with it. What do you find about that?
Yeah, for my private practice, I mean, I really don't advertise much on Twitter just because I only want to give like a couple massages a week kind of thing.
Right.
But it all depends on your niche too. So if you're definitely have more professionals that you're massaging, it might be a good idea and stuff. And yeah, and entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So if you're definitely into most of your clientele is entrepreneurs, they're going to be on Twitter 24/7. So
right. Yeah, for sure. And that's really how my email list has grown so quickly for the coaching business is because of Twitter. I don't know, I just couldn't get it off the ground for my massage practice. But I will say, if you're definitely one of those like mobile massage therapists, I think sometimes that can be a little bit helpful if you're out at sporting events or things like that. I know that it works for those type of businesses.
Yep. And do you get into Pinterest and all those other ones too then, or?
I do. I'm on there too. I used to be really into it. I backed off a little bit because now we're planning our wedding.
Yeah.
And I've purposely stayed away because it's a little like obsessive.
Yep.
But I think Pinterest is an amazing place to promote your blog posts and drive traffic back to your website. Because you can put a picture up there of, a tip or trick that you're doing or a video, and it goes right back to your website. And now you have people that are really interested in what you have to say. I love Pinterest. It's just like really addictive.
Yeah. and the nice thing is, I mean, it's mostly females on there too, and most clients are females, so it just makes sense to be on there.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. I find that too. A lot of my clientele is female based.
And have you got into Tumblr and things like that too? And
No.
No.
I haven't done Tumblr. I don't really know what that is.
Yep.
For someone that's online, I have no clue what that is.
It's basically a blogging platform and stuff, so it's more interactive. So it's like a social network for bloggers and stuff. And
yeah, I've totally stayed away from that for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well,
I don't always have good answers for everything.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's so overwhelming. There's so much social media out there too. So
there is. So I'm trying to stick to my core 4 or 5 platforms.
Yep. Yep. And how do you turn online lookers into long-time clients then?
You really need to know who you're speaking to. Really, that is key. You have to know who exactly you're speaking to, and in the verbiage in your blog posts, on your pages, on your websites, on your social media posts, you need to be speaking to those people over and over and over and over again. What keeps them up at night? What has changed their life and health so much that they have altered how they do what they do on a daily basis? When you figure that out about your clients, then you just speak to that. And that's how they just continuously keep picking you without thinking. Because it's like, they're like, wow, how does this therapist know exactly what I'm going through? I think that's totally key. And that could be like your 55-year-old grandmother that cannot pick up her children anymore because of her either shoulder pain or low back pain, or maybe a corporate America worker that has carpal tunnel from clicking the mouse too much. I'm using those words because that is what you should be using in your blog posts, in your social media updates, so that people are constantly understanding that you understand them. And I definitely think that you you want to really provide information about the results more than the type of massage that you provide. I see that as a big mistake too on a lot of websites, is they just list, this is the type of massage I do and this is how much it is, and your client has no clue what Swedish really means. They just think it's a country, of people. They, deep tissue massage, does that hurt, or do I need, they don't even understand what that means. So try to use words that will help them make a decision faster, and they'll end up booking with you for sure.
Yep. And earlier you were talking about websites and stuff, but is there a certain host that you recommend, or a certain template or things like that to get things started then? And
yeah, so I like using WordPress. WordPress is my platform of choice. It's what I use for all my websites. I love the thesis theme, and one of the newest things I've hooked up with is Premiere, I think is the name of it, which is a plugin that really turns your website into a membership site. So if you really want to get into packaging your knowledge and really creating ways to bring in income by creating ebooks or maybe a coaching program, whether it's health related or whatnot, you can buy this plugin, ship it right on over to your website, and you create a membership site. And I love that too. That's really been fun for me. I've been doing that with my coaching business. And so, and thesis theme is really fun because it's very easy, clean cut. I find that to be really good. And optimized press, I haven't worked too much with that, but that's a good one too. And we're talking like $77 for a theme, which is not too much.
Yeah, because all those free themes are great, but the thing is, sometimes you have to pay that a little bit extra in order to get that little bling bling going. So.
Right. Yeah.
And any other recommendations for websites, things that they should have on there, certain kind of pages they should have?
Well, you have your top 5, your home page, your contact page. Oh my goodness, one of the biggest things, and Kelly Weiss from Pint Size Sites taught me this, whether it's at the top or the bottom of your website, you always, on every single page, have your contact information. So that means your phone number and just the name of your business and the address of your business. Every single page. Do not just put it on your contact page. Make sure it's everywhere. That's really key because people will lose interest. They want to find their information. So contact page is good. Have your hours of operation there. Your blog page, obviously. About the therapist or about me is really important. That's actually the second visited page, is the About Me page. So make sure that you're putting a lot of great information on there and you're filling it out and really letting people see who you are professionally, and also maybe a little bit of a personal information too. The one thing about online marketing is it has definitely stopped. There's a blur line between personal and professional. We don't have to be putting all our private information out there, but you definitely need to make sure that people understand who you are. Like, what do you like to do on your time off? That's a personal piece of information. Maybe you were a marathon runner. Maybe you're on a rowing team and put a picture of you rowing. That would be a great attribute for that. So contact page, home page, blog, About Me page. I'm trying to think of the other one that I can't think of right now.
Services.
Services would be good. Yeah, that's where the money comes from, right? Thank you.
Yep.
That would be good.
Yep.
The most obvious one. And when you do your services, like I said, make sure that you're not just listing the type of massage you do, but the benefits that you provide. Make sure you're putting that with that.
Yep.
For sure.
And which format is the best to use when trying to grow online? Blogging, video, or audio?
I think all three, but I think video trumps them all. I think video trumps them all because it creates that relationship the quickest, but when you're blogging, those words are coming up in Google, and Google loves words. So, and I think all three are really important because people learn differently. Some people like to download the audio so they can listen to it at the gym, or they want to listen to it on their, if they're at the DMV waiting to get their license renewed. Some people like to watch video because they learn better when they watch, and then other people like blogging because they can print it out and highlight it and do all those type of things too. So I think all three formats are really important, but the best way to do it too is try to do one subject using all three formats. Maybe you do a video, a 60-second video clip, but then you also do it in audio, and then you transcribe it in words as well.
Yep. And then how do you get a Facebook follower to book an appointment with you?
Well, one of those things is you want to really provide that engagement. You want to make sure that you are consistently in front of your Facebook followers, so that means you cannot be posting once a week, and even once a day is probably not even enough. So you really want to be posting, like I said, the top 3 ways: engagement, pictures of your signature process, and encouragement as well. You want to make sure that you're encouraging people. So I think that doing all those 3 things at once on a consistent basis will really help with the engagement. And what happens with that is now the people are really seeing you more often, because the more engagement you have, the more that it gets out there in the news feed more. So throughout your content, you should also be providing ways for your clients to give you money, right? Because that's the whole point of all this stuff. It's not just to be nice. We are running a business. We want to make sure that we're pulling people into our business. So every now and then, every couple of days, you should be saying if you have appointments available. If you're running a special, you should be putting that out there. Also, a great way is to show testimonials on social media as well. One of the ways that I got, in 1 week, I got 6 new clients from Facebook was I was consistently posting on Facebook every day, probably 5 or 6 times, and then I hosted an open house. And I hosted a special open house only for the Facebook fans. And I think probably about 15 people came to that open house. I have a very small office, by the way, so I don't think more than 15 people could have fit in there. And then I booked 6 new clients through that. So I think that's really important too. And understand that consistency breeds success, and that you must make time in your schedule to make these posts available. And when you're on social media, you should be sharing your blog posts. You should be letting people know that they should be signing up for your email, because you have great things to offer there.
Yep. And then how often in between posts and stuff like that for Facebook would you say?
I teach on the hour, which is some people look at me and they're like, what? But I do teach on the hour every 2 hours. If you're really trying to get engagement and you're really trying to build your practice quickly, I suggest that you post on the hour or every 2 hours from 6 a.m. till 9:30 p.m. at night.
Yep. And what are some big ways to lose Facebook followers?
Oh, if you completely keep selling, buy my product, come book an appointment with me. My services are great. You know that you need them. It's not really about that. It's really getting content and educating your clients. In another way is if you are trying to gain Facebook followers, do not go to someone's page and say, like my page because I liked yours. It's very tacky, and it's not a way that you're going to engage with people and make friends that way and keep followers.
Yeah, because on on YouTube, that happens a lot. It's called sub for sub. A lot of times people will subscribe to you and they'll say, oh, I subbed you, I want you to sub me back, kind of thing. And
yeah, and you're like, what do I need to know about this, whatever.
Yep.
Whatever it is. Yeah, for sure. I see that. Yeah, that's just not good.
Yep. And many massage therapists suffer from feast or famine syndrome. What are some tips that will help get them over that hurdle, would you say?
Like I said before, understanding that consistency breeds success. It really is about consistency. It really is about making room for your marketing efforts. And when I am working with my clients, I often, it's a struggle at first because they don't have any room in their schedule for marketing. They're just taking clients whenever they can, and then they're helping their family, and they're trying to fit everything else in between. So really kind of having a plan in place and going through your schedule and making that time. Because, this is what I see a lot, a huge, huge mistake. Because a massage therapist doesn't technically maybe have a client at, say, 10 a.m., but on their schedule they have now maybe carved out the marketing time for that. So 10 to 12, I'm going to market. Well, a client calls up and says, well, I want to book an appointment right now. Can you fit me in? Well, you want the cash, so you put the client in that spot, but then you never go back to finish the marketing. And you're not really respecting your business enough to say, sorry, I can't see you right now, but I can see you at blah, blah, blah time. That is one of the biggest mistakes I see, just online, offline, just business in general, not making time to market your business. And you should be spending like 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week to try to get, 15 to 20 clients a week in your practice. Making sure you are setting up JV, which is joint venture partnerships. Making sure you're getting your emails done and your blogs done, your social media posts done, responding back to people, coming up with new ideas to get people in the door.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times people are lost for content. They need content or ideas and stuff. And how do you recommend them to get ideas?
Well, when I first started blogging, I remember thinking, why would I put out this information? It's already out there. What do I have to say? And you have to look at one subject and try to come up with 10 subjects out of that one subject. So low back pain would be one subject. Well, maybe low back pain during the winter time shoveling snow. That's one blog post. You really want to almost micromanage subjects and create lots of sub-subjects and make sure that you are just creating that. And that's how I know for me, coming up with content was listening to my clients, listening to what they had to say and asking them. And I survey my clients. I'll send out surveys just asking, if you have low back pain, what causes that? Or when I do my interview process with my clients, I'm always asking questions. And then I have a sheet that I keep all my ideas on.
Yeah. And then do you do a lot with the email marketing then?
I do. That was how I kept in contact with all my clients. That was how I was able to build from 5 to 500 clients in less than 15 months. Keeping in contact with them via email was very important because I was really teaching them how my business was run. I do online booking, so I don't make phone calls to remind them about their appointment. An email is sent to them. So if they're getting things via email from me, they also need to get their information via email from me. Same thing with social media. It's still all online. And one of the best things that you should do is always know that your website and your email, that's kind of like the king, and everything else falls underneath that. Because you want to drive people back to your website, and you want them to sign up for your email address because you own that. You don't own Facebook. Tomorrow, Facebook could be shut down, and then you lost all those contacts, right? So you constantly want to drive people to your email list. And one of the great tips I give is I don't recreate content for my email. When I would email clients, I use my blog post as my content. So I'm not constantly creating new content over and over and over again.
Yep. And how long do you think that your emails should be and stuff? And
I think that varies. I have done a lot of, myself, I get coached. and I've done a lot of coaching with online marketing experts, and I really do think it varies. I think at the very beginning, short and sweet is better, but once you really understand what your voice is, you know what your opinion is, you understand who your ideal client is, and you're really getting good at the email marketing, social media, you can start to make those a little bit longer. But shorter is better, and really just trying to create that connection with your client.
And what are some other ways people can market themselves?
I definitely think that working with other holistic entrepreneurs and not see them as competition is key. I think that's really key, that know that there's enough to go around, and when you create that alliance with another therapist, they will start to send clients to you, and you'll be able to maybe set up an event with each other and share that cost, share that client list, so now you've doubled your client list. Another great way is to really go around to your local community and make yourself known. Who are you, and what do you have to offer, and can I buy you coffee and just kind of tell you a little bit about my business? And then keep following through with that. Another thing that I see massage therapists say is like, I went out and I bought coffee for this local print shop guy, and he just hasn't referred any clients to me. Okay, well, what did you do for follow-up? Well, I bought him coffee. So it's like you gotta put in a little bit more effort. And I usually say pick 5. Pick like 5 other businesses in your community and consistently